Alright folks, happy Easter and welcome to another edition of NASCAR Heat 4 on the channel as we have another full race live stream coming at you later in this, Easter Sunday morning. So here we go, about to qualify for the Toyota Save Mart 350, and we do have session qualifying for our road courses, so that will be as normal. So we're just going to hop right into it right now. We've got the Dent Wizard paint scheme here. We're just going to run 2 laps and try and put down a quick time to hopefully qualify inside the top 12 through round 1. And then we'll run the entirety of round 2 from that point on. So hopefully we can get this race actually started right around 11 o'clock this morning. Pretty good road course racer myself, so trust that I can run pretty well for the most part. Right as I say that, I kind of make a mistake, but we're on a warm-up lap right now though, so it's all about keeping your car clean, of course. The aerodynamics when you're road course racing are so important. Hard enough to drive a stock car on a road course as it is, because these cars are not built to turn right. So we're starting our first lap here in the opening round of qualifying here at Sonoma. Again, just trying to set a quick enough time to qualify inside the top 12, and then we'll go from that point forward. In here. Oh, this is going to mess up our qualifying lap a little bit here as we're trying to pass Paul Menard. That'll slow us down just enough as far as trying to set the quick time. Luckily we can take off. We passed him fairly easily. It's the only thing about session qualifying, when you get, I mean, we don't have all 40 cars on the track right now, but when you get a lot of guys on the track trying to run a quick time trial lap, you really got to make sure you're spaced out. You get 2 cars side by side, it slows you down so much, so you have to back off so much more in the corners to get the car to stick and not want to slide everywhere. Alright, so let's see what this first lap is going to be. It's going to be a 1 minute 32.824. Second lap, top of the charts right now, but I think I was the first one to actually complete a full lap here in qualifying. I know there's other times on the leaderboard, but all of those times are just drivers that were coming out of the pits, so they haven't made their full lap yet. Yep, Teddy Hamlin down to the top of the charts for the 131.867. Now we're back to third because Eric Jones has put a good time up there too. So I know there's definitely room for improvement here on this lap. Closing in on somebody right here. Can't tell exactly who it is. It's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. That could probably slow us up a little bit also. Running a Darrell Waltrip throwback paint scheme for this race. Because of course last season this was the last race that Darrell Waltrip had commentated for his NASCAR broadcasting career. Ooh, messed up going through the S's down the hill there just a little bit. Was pushing just a tad tight. So this is going to be the final lap we're going to run in round 1. Hopefully it's fast enough to get us into the top 12, and we'll go from there. Nope, first lap was quickest, so we're going to take a 1 minute, 32.824, fifth fastest in round 1. So we are going to round 2. Again, thanks for everybody joining here this morning. Hopefully you're having a happy Easter. And we are going to run round 2. So we're going to have a 10-minute session here. We're going to run the entirety of this session and try to set the quick time here so we can nab our first pole of the season perhaps. But 5th place in round 1, we've got to pick up the pace a little bit. Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones put some really fast lap times in, so we'll see how that's going to roll here. And then we'll get this 110 lap race underway. Oh boy, a little tight again there. Curbs are just so violent on that, really any track, but I mean these road courses in general with these stock cars, it really throws you all over the place. We were able to stay in the gas there after bouncing off of that curb, but ooh, broke a little bit late into the corner. Got the car to stick for the most part, but that's okay. This is going to be... This one will be. Our warm-up lap is now over. And even though this is a 10-minute session, we're really not going to be able to... Oh, man, this is not a good start to our lap. Really tight going uphill through the carousel. We need a good finishing portion to this qualifying lap, or this one's not going to be... Nope. Another bobble right off the curb again. This is not a good opening lap to round 2. Once again, thanks for everybody joining in here this morning for our full Sonoma race. As we are finishing up qualifying here, we're in round number 2. Yeah, this is a terrible lap right now, I'm not going to lie. We'd be lucky to qualify top 10 with this lap time. It's okay. Still got about 7 minutes left to try and post a lap quicker than this, so we just got to erase our memory from this lap and just try not to repeat it. Good news is we're keeping the car on the racetrack. It's just kind of running these corners a little wide, as if it's kind of tight. I don't know. I'll try to get a quicker lap time in this time. Wow, we actually were faster in round 2 than what we were in round 1. I'm quite surprised. Sad part is I know we can do quicker. So we had a 131.698. That is not much slower than what Hamlin and Eric Jones ran back in round 1. We're kind of closing in on Denny Hamlin right now too. And the start of this lap is looking a lot better than the start of the last lap was. A little wide there. We're definitely catching Denny Hamlin though, just in front of us, which is good to show how quick we are right now compared to him. The bad news is if we catch him in the middle of the lap, that's going to slow us down quite a bit. Chase Elliott ran a 131.915. That's about a couple tenths back from what we're at right now. But I think this second lap here is going to be a lot quicker than our first lap was. Oh, as long as we don't go too wide there, we got really lucky, barely able to keep the car on the racetrack that time. Dropping it to first gear. See if that's going to give us a little extra horsepower down the straightaway at the stripe. This lap is going to be a lot quicker. 1:31.453. We cut the lap time down by about a half a second. We are still at the top of the charts, and honestly, that lap time is going to be kind of tough to beat. That could be the quick time to nab the pole for the race coming up here in a little bit. So we're going to do something a little different here. We're going to hit pit road this time by, put 4 fresh Goodyears on the car, and then try to go back out and run 1 or 2 more laps to see if we can better our time from before, especially because Denny Hamlin's in our way right now. Hamlin is definitely in our way at the moment, which is going to cost us our lap time on this lap. So we look to make the pass. Hopefully he just lets us go. Nope, he's going to try to cross us over. Well, I mean, this is ruining Denny Hamlin's lap time, that's for sure. Man, we're racing here even in qualifying. Lets us go through the carousel once again. $40 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit. Woohoo! Barely made it in time there. Brian, I don't use custom setups, so I've got the setup as tight as it'll go. But I do have stability help on at 50 because I don't use the custom setups. So that's what I usually do on road courses at least. But the difficulty of the game also, I have 105 AI difficulty for every race I run. Both career mode and on, well, expert on the career mode, and then 105 on the AI difficulty here. In every full-length race I do. Yeah, I'll try not to screw up here, World Wrestling Championships. Okay, so we still have the quick time as of right now. Eric Jones is now up to second. He ran a 1:31.697, which was pretty close to what our first lap was in round 2 here. But I'm glad we picked up the pace on both laps from where we ran in round 1 by pretty much a full minute on lap 2. So putting the 4 fresh tires on the car. Oh man, a little wide here. It's alright. Again, good thing it's a warm-up lap coming off of pit road. This lap time's not really going to count. But by the time we get back to the start-finish line, it looks like we're only going to have time to run 1 more lap. Because I don't think we're going to get back to the start-finish line in the next 30 seconds. Honestly, our first lap is going to be even tough to beat ourselves here. It'll be close. We might be able to get 2 laps in. I'm trying to hustle it back to the line this time. It's going to be close. We need to hit our marks here on every single lap. So we hit about 1:31 at the start-finish line this time. Oh man, we have to have a perfect lap though to get another lap in here. It's gonna be very close. Hopefully we can still have the pole anyway. We won't have to worry about running another lap. But oh no, around we go off the curb, keeping it off the wall. Great save. But so much for this lap. And now we are definitely not going to get back to the start-finish line to run another lap. Yeah, this is going to be the last lap of qualifying now. I don't know how I did that. It goes to show again how violent these curbs are. You almost have to use them, but man, that was so difficult too. Again, thanks for everybody joining in here. We haven't even started the race yet. We're already getting quite a few viewers, so that's good to see. Again, had to move the start time up here to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for this live stream today. I tried to warn everybody during the Michigan race last night that I was going to have to do that because I'm going to be booked here at 4 o'clock at my original start time for this race. Obviously with it being Easter Sunday, so sorry. I'll apologize for that one. So let's see. We should still have the pole 131.453. We do. First pole of the season. And we had it by about 0.2 of a second on Eric Jones. Denny Hamlin definitely was slower here this round because he was fastest in round 1 and qualified 5th here. And then we got some road course ringers, kind of like a Jamie McMurray up towards the front of the field, I guess. Chase Elliott's going to be one to beat. He's really good on road courses. Has not won at Sonoma, though. Yeah, road courses are definitely one of my specialties, so... I mean, it's like any other track. The more you run it and practice it, the better you'll be. Again, I'll try to read the chat like normal throughout the course of the race. Obviously, with this being a road course race, my hands are going to be full. So if I don't get to every single question you guys ask me, hopefully you guys can kind of communicate with each other. And as usual, we'll have the full-length broadcast. But... yeah, here we go. We're going to hop right into this. Here at Sonoma, we're on the pole for the first time this season. I'm not sure exactly what the stage lengths are going to be here. I think we're going to have 20 laps in each of the first 2 stages, so we'll probably fly by through the first 2 stages. Kyle Busch starting at the rear of the field today. So that's not good for him. And Truex looking oddly slow. He's usually one of the guys to beat here at Sonoma. So here we go. Green flag in the air. Toyota Save Mart 350 in the first road course race at Sonoma is underway. It looks like we're going to have 25 laps in the opening stage of the race. And it's just all about taking care of your tires, keeping the car on the track, and Eric Jones beating us up the hill through the carousel. And he's going to clear us. Clean air means so much on these road course races. And the fact that Eric Jones was able to steal the race lead away, trying to lead lap 1, pulling us through the middle part of the racetrack now. Man, we did not time that restart out perfect at all. Eric Jones taking off. We'll see if we can get him back. I know we've definitely got a fast car through qualifying, but being in the dirty air right behind him might make the handling of the car just that much more difficult compared to what it would normally be. But he's not really getting away from us, at least right now. And then obviously, depending on the tire fall off, which usually on the road courses I've noticed that my tire fall off is pretty equal with everybody else, so it's not going to be like most races where the longer run, oh man, I would have ran right into the back of Eric Jones if I didn't move up out of the way at the last second. I was trying not to drill him. I didn't think he was going to check up that much going into the U-turn there at the end of the racetrack. Again, this is a 14-turn racetrack with a new layout at Sonoma, going to the old layout that they originally had for this racetrack back when NASCAR first started running here about 30 years ago. Jones has slipped out to about a 1.5 second lead already with Matt DiBenedetto. He's shown some prowess on the road courses starting last season, and I'm sure it'll be the same for him this year as well, as he's closing in on us for second place. Of course, DiBenedetto won the race at Martinsville, so he is already locked into the playoffs, but he's looking for more playoff points today, of course, as are we, because we're also locked in. Eric Jones has not won a race yet this year, so the fact he's showing great speed early on, maybe he can contend for the win. So trying to close the gap on him once again. We're pretty good through the middle portion of this racetrack. And again, with Kyle Busch starting at the rear of the field today, if he can fight his way up towards the front, is he going to have a faster car than us or maybe some of these other guys towards the front of the field? Yep, I anticipated him breaking a little early again. Now we're going to sneak to the inside. Look at him pinching us down on the track. Trying not to make contact and pass him clean, but Eric Jones gave us no room. And now he bounces it off the wall, coming back to the start-finish line. And that's going to allow us to catch up once again as we go uphill through the first carousel. It's going to pull us just a little bit again. But this middle portion of the racetrack right here, the newer addition that we're not used to seeing here at Sonoma, about the fastest. Jones slides the tires, as do, man, he is doing a great job blocking us, I'm not going to lie. Eric Jones pulling out all the stops early in the race, blocking us again. Now we're going to get under him. And we're going to clear him. Can't get back to us as we try to lead our first lap of the race. Definitely got to take it easy over the curbs. The best thing you can do when the car is bouncing around on the curbs is get out of the gas. Don't hit the brakes. That takes a possibility of locking the tires up, maybe sliding them a little bit, and don't accelerate because you can have more rear wheel spin. Definitely want to just kind of back it off, ease out of the gas, and ease back into it after you get off the curbs is the best way to do it. Obviously, when I was in qualifying, I made that spin. Luckily, I didn't hit the wall or anything. But that was why, because I didn't ease back into the throttle. And in the heat of the moment, you might not think that that's what happened, but looking back on it, that is probably what ended up happening. So we're going to lead our first lap of the race, but we're not really pulling away from Eric Jones. He's staying right there, about a half second back, just waiting for us to make a mistake so he can get back under us again. And he almost got us that time. That was pretty close. Yeah, Mid-Ohio and Road America, probably the two toughest road courses in this game, in my opinion. Luckily, the Xfinity cars are a little bit more stable on these road courses than the Cup cars are, in my opinion at least. So that kind of helps out a little bit, because I have noticed it is easier to run the Charlotte Roval, for instance, on the season, as well as Watkins Glen. Even though those, Watkins Glen, probably the easiest road course on the game. And I typically run that one at least with the steering wheel as well as the Charlotte Roval. With this new layout here at Sonoma, I almost like to say that this is probably the toughest road course on the game. But the Charlotte Roval's maybe a close second as far as the Cup Series is considered. Already on lap number 5. Again, these first two stages going to go by 25 laps in each. That'll make for a 70 lap final stage of the race. As far as the pit stops go, we can easily make it on fuel to the end of stage 1, then pit at the stage break, and we can make it to the end of stage 2, but that final stage we're going to have to make one stop at least. So it's key to take care of the tires, of course. Tire wear is huge factors on road courses. How you can kind of save your tire wear as much as possible, so we don't have to make that extra pit stop under green. It's going to be the key. And as well, lap traffic. Once we catch up to the lap cars at some point in time over the course of this race, how can you get around them cleanly and efficiently to not slow down your lap time as much as possible? So we're actually kind of pulling away here. We got about a 2.5 second lead on Eric Jones, but I noticed DiBenedetto looked fast in the beginning, and honestly, I think Eric Jones is probably holding up DiBenedetto and Denny Hamlin, which could be helping us out quite a bit, to be quite honest. And then you got a little bit of a gap between Hamlin in 4th and Jamie McMurray in 5th. Again, we'll have to keep an eye on Kyle Busch throughout the course of the day. I'm not sure where exactly he qualified, but starting towards the rear of the field, he's going to be racing like a madman here, at least through stage 1, trying to get through as many cars as possible. Couldn't imagine starting at the rear on a road course race, though. I mean, with how difficult it is to pass. Obviously, with being locked into the playoffs and having a pretty big regular season points lead, we've only got 10 races left in the regular season after this race today. And then obviously a 10-race playoff, so still 20 races to go in the year. We're not quite halfway done, but we're basically focused on trying to get stage wins and race wins to gather as many playoff points as possible. And obviously every stage point is crucial to winning the regular season title, but again, with us having a couple race lead already on the next closest driver of Kyle Busch, and Busch starting at the rear of the field even today, that could hurt him. We're doing a pretty good job here so far. I don't know how Eric Jones got around us on the start, though. He was definitely aggressive going uphill through the carousel, but I was not expecting him to get around us like he did. And it took us a couple laps for us to actually pass him and pass him clean. He was putting up a fight, throwing some good blocks and really holding his own. He never made a mistake. We just beat him flat out back to the gas coming out of the middle portion of the racetrack. Slide the tires a little bit there. It's alright. As soon as you start to slide, the best thing you can do is try not to overcorrect it as much as possible. And again, just ease out of the throttle. Don't get on the brakes. And try not to accelerate if at all possible. It's all about reaction time when you're running these road course races. And running in traffic makes it that much more difficult. So when we get back to the start-finish line here, we're going to alternate through the cameras for the first time today, as we do in every other race. Road courses will be no different, despite how much more difficult it might be for my sake, but the show must go on, per se. But we do have about a 5-second lead on Eric Jones. I still think he's holding up Matt DiBenedetto, though. I feel like if Matt DiBenedetto can get on by, he might be able to run us down. The elevation changes here at Sonoma are just monstrous. I mean, it's crazy just how much the elevation changes are. It's so hard to see where the next turn is coming majority of the time, just because you're going uphill and the next corner is straight downhill, but you cannot see it until you get to that peak of the hill. Watkins Glen, honestly, after being there in person last year, I was quite surprised at what the elevation changes look like, because watching it on TV doesn't give as good of a perspective, per se. Because, I mean, going where I ended up parking, I parked just outside of turn 1. I sat on the front stretch, but just looking, you could see the carousel from the parking lot, and it's just steep uphill. The track was in the mountains, beautiful part of the country, but it just goes to show how much elevation changes even on what might say people might say a flatter road course would be. Charlotte Roval had quite a bit of elevation changes when I was there in person last year as well, through the infield portion of the racetrack. So these road courses are definitely difficult as it is, and then trying to drive a stock car makes it just that much more worse, I guess, for the drivers, handling wise. It's quite amazing. I haven't been to Sonoma in person yet, at least. It's the only Cup Series road course I haven't been to. But it's definitely another one to add on to the list, obviously. I want to hit every Cup Series track at some point in time, but Eric Jones starting to close the gap just a little bit. We're not running the car as hard as what we were, really trying to take it easy in the corners and take care of the tires since we had about a 5-second lead. And I don't know how we're going to do in lap traffic. I don't know how the rest of the drivers are going to do, and I don't know how I'm going to do, because I kind of struggled at times getting around guys in qualifying. It costed me a little bit of time, and I would imagine in the race it's probably going to end up being the same thing. We'll just have to see. Not worried about picking up the pace too much until they close the gap quite a bit. And I think the Benedetto's being really patient with Eric Jones, because again, he has been like right behind him. Probably just waiting for him to make it. Already 16 laps to go in the stage. Oh boy, almost went off the track there. I've been good about it. I've almost gone off the track, that's what, like twice now? The first 10 laps of the race, but barely keeping it on. We're closing in on lap traffic now for the first time here today. It looks like Tyler Reddick is in last place currently. I don't think there's anybody out of the race yet. So this is the 40th place car just in front of us of Tyler Reddick. So now that we no longer have clean air, in fact, Eric Jones probably has the cleanest air in second place. We got around Reddick pretty easily. Again, we're a lot faster than all these guys that we're about to put a lap down right now. But again, there's very few passing lanes on this racetrack. Got really loose off the curb there that time, but we did a good job keeping control. Huge stack of lap cars coming up ahead. This could be costly as far as our lead goes. It's now down to about a 3-second lead on Eric Jones and Matt DiBenedetto. Oh boy, man, couldn't quite clear Ryan Truex that time. Quickly trying to shoot past Joey Gase going up through the carousel as he tries to cross us back over. So lap traffic going to be a huge factor, as I have stated, in this race. And this could be a mess up here real soon. Eric Jones cutting back into the race lead. I'm sure he's probably at least caught Tyler Reddick by now. Yeah, this is not good at all. Got Ty Dillon just up ahead. Hard to tell exactly who all these guys are. Oh, a little contact with Ty Dillon. Had a bigger run than what I expected on him there. It's so hard not to make contact with all these lap cars. We got by a few of them right away, but got a little bit of work yet to do. Definitely got to be a little bit more patient. Can't really pass through the S's. Look at how hard it is just to get alongside of them. Now we're going to get alongside of BJ McLeod. Clearing him before we got into the braking zone of that last corner, and now into the sharp U-turn. Turn number 13. Almost got in the wall coming off of there. Almost got back into the gas too soon. So we did a fairly decent job getting around that clump of lap cars, and we got a little bit of space before we catch another one. You saw up on the ticker, though, Eric Jones caught up to about maybe 2 seconds back in the lead. Now he's back to about 4 seconds behind us. We got quite a few lap cars in between us yet. Corey LaJoie is going to be the next lap car just in front of us. Got a good passing zone coming up right here. Gonna get around him. We're gonna clear him pretty easily. Thanks for Oh, man! That's why I don't like looking at the chat on road courses. Went way wide there. That was, that could have been a lot worse than what it was. I didn't think I was going to get the car back down at first. Luckily, I was downshifted in time. Helped the braking. World Wrestling Championships, thanks for subscribing. Really appreciate it. No, you're fine, you're fine. You can comment all you want, just... I usually, again, I try to look at it. Short tracks and road courses are the most difficult tracks to try to check the chat. So I'm constantly turning and having to brake. If I was using the steering wheel instead of the controller today, I probably would be looking at the chat a lot less. But definitely under pit stops and cautions are... I usually try to look. Oh boy. Just looking up at the leaderboard for the first time in a couple laps now. We've got about a 12-second lead on DiBenedetto, who has finally gotten around Eric Jones through the lap traffic, and Kevin Harvick is up to third place now as well. Jones back to fourth with Denny Hamlin just behind him in fifth place. So Kevin Harvick seemingly coming out of nowhere. He qualified in the back half of the top 10. But a pretty dominant stage one, leading all but the first 2 or 3 laps of the race so far. From the pole, as we try to get the stage one victory. As we look at the tire wear and how the tire fall off has been through the first roughly 10 laps of the race, 15 laps. It's not too bad. Got 62% on the left front. We'll probably be burning the left front more so than the right front because there are more more right-hand turns on this road course than left-handers. And it seems like pretty much all the sharp corners are all right-hand turns as well. All the higher braking zones, so pretty much what we have to look forward here in this one. I mean, I knew I'm pretty good on road courses, but I did not think we were going to have this big of a lead fairly early in this race. But we got a lot more lap cars to come yet. Obviously, everybody back there was probably battling not only for position, which was costing them time, but as well trying to get past the lap cars also. Because, I mean, the top, well, second through fifth on the leaderboard, they're all within a couple seconds of each other, so... Definitely having some great battles for position back there, I would have to imagine. This is setting us up pretty good. And again, we're keeping the car clean for the most part. We've had contact here and there with the lap cars, but that was about it. I mean, we have raced them pretty clean. Look to get around Parker Kligerman now. Oh man, so tight through the carousel. Again, very few passing lanes at Sonoma. And there were a little bit more passing lanes seemingly with the older layout, or the, I guess this is technically the older layout, but the layout NASCAR's had for quite some time. But once they changed it back to its original form last season, it seems like there's even less passing zones than what there were before. Oh boy. Yep, happy Easter to everybody watching. Yeah, it's not raining in my area. It was actually pretty dry. I got around to golfing this morning before I started this stream. But I did see that there was quite a bit of rain in most of the country today. And I think it's actually supposed to rain here at my house, but not until later tonight. So, should be good, like right around 6, 7 o'clock-ish. And I know it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow for me too, so that'll be a wet day at work, but that's alright. So also, while you guys are watching, the next full race live stream is going to be at Chicagoland, and that is going to be Wednesday afternoon, would be my next day off of work. So Wednesday afternoon, that'll be roughly, not sure on the start time yet, but I want to say it'll probably be right around 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So be on the lookout for that as well. If you are new to the channel and enjoy NASCAR, we have, oh boy, daily NASCAR content. So hit the subscribe button for more of that and the bell notification so you guys don't miss an upload. I post weekly scheduled videos, so that will be coming out either later tonight or tomorrow morning as usual for the week to come as far as what time I'll be streaming during the week. Ooh, nice crossover move to get around Stenhouse and quickly getting around the 8 of Daniel Hemrick. So we're starting to go a little wider. Tires are definitely wearing out a little bit more. We got 54% on the left front, so handling and the grip is definitely going away, but it's not too terrible, at least right now. But once we get down under 30% roughly, as far as the tire wear is concerned, that's going to change quite dramatically as far as the handling. We really have to back up the corners quite a bit. DiBenedetto has closed the gap a little bit. He's about 10 seconds off the lead now, and I was afraid he might have a fast car in this one. And again, that could be the case. We got 9 laps to go here in stage 1. Haven't had any sign of anybody going off the track or spinning yet. Of course, with the road course races, relaxed yellows are on as always. Kind of like you would see on a road course, you would see spins at times, but if they're up and out of the way, there will not be a caution. So it would probably have to be a multi-car incident for there to be a caution today. But it's definitely possible on these road courses, especially when we have restarts. And everybody's really clustered together. Big packs of lap traffic have already been some sort of a havoc for us early on in this one. I would assume that would remain the same. So as far as the tire wear goes, honestly for stage 1 and stage 2, it should be alright. When we get to that final stage of the race, that is when we're going to have a lot more issues with the tire wear. Because obviously we're going to be having a 70 lap run to the finish versus just running 25 laps. So we could really kind of burn our tires up and still be alright handling wise through stage 1 and 2. And as far as fuel goes, we're going to be right on the window of if we're going to have to pit once or twice in that final stage as well. So the tire wear is going to be key to that also on whether or not you can save your tires to pit once as well as your fuel, or if you're going to have to pit a second time. Alex Bowman has cracked the top 5 now. I see he's in the 5th position. And Eric Jones has now fallen outside of the top 5 for the first time today, despite leading the first couple laps of the race and qualifying in 2nd. It'll be interesting to see the start of stage 2, assuming that Matt DiBenedetto is going to restart outside pole to start the 2nd stage, because if does, once we actually get stuck together on a restart, we should have a pretty good battle for the lead, I would have to imagine. But for the rest of stage 1 goes, it's looking like we're just kind of dominating here early on. But that could obviously change by the time we get to stage 2. Oh boy, almost went a little wide again. William Byron, he's a pretty good road course racer himself, not having a good day in 23rd right now, and Paul Menard just behind him as well. Ooh, side by side up through the carousel, pretty tight, trying to get around Paul Menard there. But we beat him back to the gas, and we're going to get the job done. And now having to deal with William Byron in the 24. Trying to outbrake him. And we're going to get on by. And Menard tried to slip underneath of Byron there as well, as they're side by side for 23rd behind us now. Stage 1 race length is like a Xfinity. Yeah, it really is. In a sense. Yeah, because I think the Xfinity, they only race like, trying to think. I know at Mid-Ohio, the race is only like 75 laps, maybe 80. Obviously, Watkins Glen, I know, is like 80 laps. Road America is only 45. Granted, that's a 4-mile road course, but still, that's only 45 laps. And I think Charlotte Roval is only like 55. So, yeah, these first two stages is going to be kind of like an Xfinity Series race as far as the length goes. So it's really going to be a test of endurance in that final stage, keeping focus. That's another thing too here that you're seeing in this stage compared to what you'll be seeing in the final stage is obviously if we stay green a lot longer of a run, plus we'll already have about 50 laps under our belt or so of green flag racing, that you got to try not to lose focus. Like, we're keeping the car on the track now. I'm pretty, focused right now because we've just started this race. But definitely got to stay focused, and that goes along with just staying hydrated and trying to keep amped up the whole time and not get too relaxed. So trying to put as many guys a lap down as possible right now. It looks like our first somewhat fast car on the track we're about to put a lap down. Kurt Busch is the next car in front of us. Kurt Busch in 21st, so we've almost lapped about half the field in stage 1 alone. And that's another thing too, obviously when we get to the final stage of the race, with it being a lot longer, there could possibly be a lot more drivers going a lap down over the course of time. But honestly, for a road course race, we're putting quite a few guys a lap down here early on. Ooh, Kurt Busch not letting us go. At least not yet. Now we're going to get on by him, and we're going to hold clear back to the middle portion of the racetrack again. So 20 drivers currently on the lead lap as we have 5 laps to go in stage 1. As we take a look here, our fastest lap of the race is that was probably a bad idea. Well, Kurt Busch is probably, no, he's not going to get his lap back. That's the first time we went off the track today. But luckily, we barely went off the track. We have a big enough lead. It didn't cost us too much. Yeah, 131.302 is our fastest lap ran, and that's about a tenth of a second off from our fastest lap I've ever ran here in the Cup Series at Pocono. So again, we've got a fast car. Pretty pumped about the car we've got today. I'm pumped about getting that first pole of the year, to be quite honest. I think we've only qualified inside the top 10. That was probably the 3rd time all year. So usually don't perform that well in qualifying, but again, road courses usually run pretty well. If you can keep it on the track, keep it off the wall and other drivers, you're going to have a fast car. You just got to trust yourself. So 4 laps to go in stage 1. We are almost there. 16-second lead on DiBenedetto now. Harvick has closed the gap on him. He's less than a second behind. They try to battle to see who will be in second place. Obviously, with green flag pit stop, or not green flag, but pit stops under the yellow coming up. We'll have to see how we get the race off of pit road. That is another thing too. Obviously, with the track position, we need fast pit stops, especially under caution, because you gotta hold that track position as good as you possibly can. I mean, even look at Eric Jones. He's not in the top 5 and probably doesn't have a top 5 car, but he was able to lead a couple laps because when he got out in front, it was so hard to pass him. We might open out about a 20-second lead before the end of the stage here. Eric Almirola is about to go a lap down now. Tyler Reddick's the only driver 2 laps down, at least for right now. Ryan Truex is just up ahead, and he's about to go 2 laps down. We're going to outbrake both those guys right there. Austin Dillon not having a good day. He's in 37th. And Kevin Harvick is now taking second place for the first time today. So he has just passed Matt DiBenedetto. And Harvick has worked his way through the field. I think he qualified 8th. I think he qualified in the 8th position. He's having a pretty solid run for himself right now. Yeah, so a lot of these cars we've been passing recently are already a lap down. Clint Boyer's the next driver on the lead lap that we have to catch. Ooh, caught Ryan Preece in a bad spot there. Right before one of the longer straightaways of the racetrack. Had to check out of the gas. So there's Clint Boyer. Just in front of us. Really got to be patient around. Ooh, Ty Dillon, a little contact there again, but we're good. Our left front tire's down to 35% tire wear as well. Luckily, again, we only got 2 laps left at the start-finish line. Finally able to get around Ty Dillon. Caught right back up to Clinton Boyer. I'm not sure who the next driver on the lead lap would be after Boyer. It looks like it might be Kyle Larson up there. I don't think I put him a lap down yet. So Boyer's had success on road courses despite himself saying that he's not that great of a road course racer. So ooh, that's pretty interesting. A little tight there. Brendan Gaughan not giving us a lot of room. It looks like David Reagan, oh, sliding, almost made contact with Reagan. That was a close one. He's going to try to cross us over now. And David Reagan's going to go a lap down. So Reagan in the free pass position with about a lap and a half to go in the stage. Chris Buescher is in 17th. It looked like Larson from far away. I saw the blue car, but it's Buescher. And he's in danger of going a lap down now as well. So obviously if Buescher goes a lap down, he'll be in the free pass position, and David Reagan will have to try and catch him. Harvick about 19.5 seconds off the lead right now. Big run on Buescher. Going into turn number 13, we're going to put him a lap down. So 16 drivers on the lead lap currently in the stage. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go now in stage number 1. Out to about a 21-second lead on Harvick again. Denny Hamlin up to 3rd, and DiBenedetto's falling back to 4th as they battle for stage points on the final lap of stage number 1 behind us. Alex Bowman still hanging on to 5th for the time being, about a half a minute behind us. A little less than that. Yeah, left front at 31%, but even burning the tires up just a little bit, we were able to make it 25 laps through the run. But we'll get to see how stage 2 is going to go here in a little bit. Who will be able to restart alongside us when we start the next stage? We got another car up ahead here that we're closing in on, but I think that driver's going to keep from going a lap down here before the end of the stage. Actually, it looks like Cody Ware, so I think he's already a lap down. Yeah, it's Cody Ware, so we're going to have 16 drivers finish on the lead lap at the end of stage number 1. And Ryan Blaney comes out of turn 14. Blaney wins stage 1 at Sonoma. Dominance only leading all but the first 2 laps of the race to this point. And we're going to have to wait a little bit before everybody else, before the top 10 end up crossing the start-finish line here. So Kyle Busch is currently running 13th. And Martin Truex Jr. 12th. So Busch has fought from the rear of the field to 13th in stage 1. That's pretty impressive in the first 25 laps of the race. So we'll have to keep a close eye on him again throughout the course of the race today. But didn't look like he got stage points here. No, he did not. So Busch ends up 12th at the end of stage 1. So, yep. Not got to worry about repairing damage right now. Just looking for the quick stop. So we could run 38 laps on a full tank of fuel. And that's going to be close to run the final 70 laps. Because on fuel you can make it on one stop. But the way the tires wear off here, might take you more than one. So here we go. Won the race off in pit road. Stage 2 about to begin. Green flag back in the air. Here we go. 22 laps of green flag action here in stage 2. Quickly able to get the jump out in front of Harvick. Did not want to let him go like Eric Jones did to us at the start of the race. So we got a lot better jump there. Oh man, this car feels so nice to have fresh tires on it. They weren't wearing off too bad, but I could feel the difference already of having fresh tires versus 25 lap old tires by the end of that last stage. 100% online race. Maybe in the future, definitely not today though. Gonna be pretty busy later today. That's the reason why I had to move this race into the late morning hours. Everybody kind of battling back for third. Hamlin is right there. Eric Jones, he might have a short run car too, and that could be another reason why he's looking good, because he's back up to 4th again. But Kevin Harvick, only about a second behind us right now. He's hanging tight here on the opening lap of the stage at least. But he's not quite close enough to us to put a lot of pressure on me right now. If it were later in the race and we only had this much of a lead, I'd probably feel a lot more tense, a lot more pressure. But early in stage 2, I'm not really worried about it right now. If he passes us, I feel like we can get back around him at some point for the end of the stage. Although I don't want him to pass us, but try to hold on to the clean air as much as possible. Ooh boy. Oh, and here comes Harvick. Almost made contact. He got a little loose just trying to sling the car under us there for a second. It looks like we're able to hold on for now. Harvick definitely putting up a fight. That is for sure. sure Kyle Busch has reached himself inside the top 10 as well. He has won here at Sonoma in the past, as well as Watkins Glen for that matter. He's a pretty good road course racer. Not sure if Harvick has won at Sonoma or not. Off the top of my head, I know he has won at Watkins Glen before. He had a pretty good finish in the Roval last year too, so Harvick had his fair share of road courses. And of course, obviously I know I'm pretty good here on road courses too, but even Ryan Blaney's had his success. He won at the Charlotte Roval in its inaugural race 2 years ago. Got out of that corner pretty good. Harvick keeps trying to take swings in that corner, but he keeps missing as far as trying to try to use the side draft. A little wide. It's alright though, we were able to actually beat him back to the throttle by running that corner a little wide. We're actually carrying quite a bit of speed here. It actually kind of worked out for us. Might have to start taking that corner a little wider, honestly. That is a really good turn to set guys up, though, as well. The pass going into that longer straightaway on the racetrack. Oh, man, a little loose off the curb there, going downhill through the S's slash carousel. Got us just a little bit out of shape. That's one of the higher speed parts of the track as well. But yeah, Kevin Harvick definitely putting up a pretty good fight right now. He's staying within a half second to a second off the lead lap after lap despite being in dirtier air. And I'm kind of scared that if he gets the clean air, has Harvick got a fast enough car to just pull away from me? I kind of don't want to find out. Alternate through the cameras here for the final time already today. 18 laps to go in stage number 2 at Sonoma. Again, we have led, even all the caution laps during the stage break we led. We have led all but the first 2 laps of this race in which Eric Jones had led. And Harvick has challenged for the lead here for a little bit to start stage 2. And he's doing a pretty good job hanging on. And now he looks to the inside. He is there. Side by side for the lead. Harvick, Blaney. But we beat him back to the gas for the time being. And now he's there on the right side again. Trying to make the tough pass around the outside. Now looking to cross us over. Block is made. Running a little wide. Here comes Harvick again. He gets to the corner panel. He is there. Side by side for the lead. This could get tight. Oh, we missed the braking zone. And Harvick is going to take the lead. But we got back into the gas pretty well, trying to run him back down through the second chicane. We're almost driving the car too hard, just trying to run him back down. As Kevin Harvick looks to try and lead his first lap of the race. Might have a chance to get him back right here. So close. Couldn't do it, and Kevin Harvick is going to lead his first lap of the race here at Sonoma. Really driving this car hard to try and stay with him, and we're actually sticking our corners on this lap. Ooh, we caught him big time. Harvick wobbled a little bit getting into that corner. We're going to gain just a little bit more time on him again. Just a battle between us leaders, but in this battle, Denny Hamlin now only about 2.5 seconds off the lead, as he has kind of closed the gap on us. Good of a battle for the lead as you're going to find on a road course here. We've raced each other clean to this point as well. Neither of us have made contact with each other all day. Looking to take a shot. Driving it in deep. Nice clean pass. Got to clear him. Beats us back to the gas though. But we're going to have the advantage going into the next corner. We're going to clear him. Oh boy, man, he almost got to our bumper there. I was scared he was going to give us a shot, but no, Harvick is racing us clean though. Oh, a little loose, and he gets around us around the outside now, going through the Estes uphill. Now he just bounced off the curb. Lost a little time himself. What a great battle for the lead. But again, Hamlin closing the gap. He's now about 1.5 seconds back, and are we using our tires up too much? And will Denny Hamlin have a shot to just blow right past both of us? When he gets there, oh, we got really loose. Off the curb that time. We're going to lose a ton of ground to Harvick. Now about 1.5 seconds behind. I'm sure we've got lap traffic coming up fairly soon as well. Kevin Harvick holding his own though. He's hitting his marks here. Caution, first time today. It looks like Eric Jones is going to pit, but I think that's because he was involved in the caution. So Eric Jones might have an issue here. As we get our first caution for incident today, that'll bunch the field back up again. Kyle Busch only gained a spot there, so he's still in 11th. He'll be 10th actually with Eric Jones likely leaving the race for the rest of the day. So here we go. To the restart. Kevin Harvick will control the pace as the race leader. We never caught lap traffic on that green flag run. Harvick on the gas. Here we go. He's not going to clear us yet. Oh, trying to get the advantage here. Side by side for the lead. And now we're going to clear Harvick. Another great restart by Blaney. to get the clean air out in front of the field once again as we try to pull away, get back to hitting our marks. That restart kind of helped us out in the sense that we didn't have to wait too long to really get back to Harvick. As the run wears on, I'm sure Harvick is still going to stay right with us. And that was probably worse for Hamlin because he was running down us and Harvick. And now we lost a spot on the restart there, it looked like, to Matt DiBenedetto. So Denny Hamlin's actually back to 4th. Again, still about 1 second off the race lead. At the line this time, we'll be halfway through stage number 2. We'll have 11 laps to go. And again, only one caution so far today. Came out a few laps ago. This will be the final lap. We're going to run the in-car cam here today. We'll run 4 more off the hood cam and 4 more with the front bumper cam, but still not entirely sure what the caution was out on, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, Harvick taking a swing. Oh, a little contact that time. He got into us on the right side of our car. That's the first time we've made contact all day with one another. I was already up the racetrack, couldn't go up any further, and Harvick was there. That time he couldn't make the pass clean, lost a little bit of ground, and now Matt DiBenedetto was able to close the gap there just a little bit because of it. Barely able to stay in front of Harvick right now. Ten laps left now in stage number 2 here at Sonoma. Oh boy. Got a little loose there. Man, that's Harvick's best corner too. He keeps trying to take swings. We made contact the last time. Luckily, it was minimal that we were able to hold on to the lead, and going to try to pull away from him again. He misses. DiBenedetto's only a few car lengths behind him. Might be able to take a shot himself here. Joshua White, thanks for joining the broadcast here today. Hopefully you're having a happy Easter. Did not get to read your comment yet, sorry. I just glanced down, saw you commented, and try to get to that as soon as possible. But, yep, again, we won stage 1 pretty soundly. But here in stage 2, Kevin Harvick has put up quite a bit of a fight. Harvick was able to lead a couple laps here in the stage. Eric Jones led the first 2 laps of the race. We've led pretty much all but 4 laps under green in this race. Harvick obviously led all the caution laps too, so he's led the second most laps in this one. Thanks, Joshua, for calling me awesome, man. Take the compliment. Took me an extra lap to get to that comment, but oh man, going a little wide. But the last time we went a little wide on that corner, we actually helped with the corner exit speed. We were able to stick the corner still and accelerate back to the gas before Harvick. That time, though, we were not able to do it. So it was probably just luck of the draw the first time. Man, look at all the brake marks there. All the tire marks from the hard braking zone going into that bus stop up at the top of the hill. So we go back downhill through the chicane once again. Or not the chicane, rather, the carousel. But yeah, DiBenedetto, he started to put up a fight. I knew he was going to at some point in time. So you've got the top three within 2 seconds of each other. Kyle Busch, who started at the rear of the field today, has climbed into the top 10, but he has not yet cracked the top 5. So I'd assume if he gets clean air, he could possibly have a fast car that could compete for the win as well. So realistically, I'm looking at about 4 drivers right now that could have a pretty good shot of winning this race, and maybe 5 if you count Denny Hamlin, but I'm not quite sold on him yet because he hasn't really, like, after about 5 laps of a run, he can't really stick with the leaders. Oh, Harvick almost got there again. He got really loose that time. We never made contact with one another, though. Well, Harvick got really loose, must have bounced off the curb getting into that corner. Don't realize he's there until he makes the moves. If he can just get closer, he's going to be able to pass us one of these times. Maybe here. So we go wide once again. We're able to kind of diamond the corner off in a sense. And pull right back away from him. There we go. Got the car to stick to the curb on the inside of turn 13 that time. Pulled away from Harvick just a little bit. First time in a while we've had a little bit of breathing room. He seems to close back in on us here through the first couple corners of this racetrack, though, and I think that's why he's able to take that shot. But once he misses, we're so good in the middle portion of the racetrack, he just loses us instantly again. Oh, held the inside. Yeah, he definitely wasn't close enough to make an attempt to pass us that time. So a little bit more breathing room as long as we don't make a mistake. So we are getting towards the late going of stage 2 here at Sonoma. We're honestly okay running that bus stop a little bit wide because it seems like we have a little bit better exit speed. The problem is if you get somebody close enough to you, they're just going to pass right by you. But having a little bit of clean space behind us like we do right now on Harvick, we could run the bus stop a little wider and accelerate pretty early to give us a lot of speed going back downhill through the carousel once again. Yeah, Harvick just closed the gap on us through turn 13 that time again. That sharp right-handed U-turn. So we now have get my numbers mixed up. We now have 6 laps to go in stage number 2. Just got to keep hitting our marks here. I don't know if we're going to catch lap traffic before the end of the stage. We very well could. We did not catch them at the beginning of the stage. But we currently have 18 drivers on the lead lap in this race because we went caution free through stage 1 that we were able to put quite a few guys a lap down. So lap traffic could be a factor in the final couple laps of stage number 2 here to see who is going to get the playoff point. DiBenedetto finally starting to lose ground. He's about 3 seconds back in the lead now, but if Harvick can get close to us and we end up battling again, it could allow DiBenedetto to have himself a pretty good shot to get back into this thing and possibly win the stage. Have a 2-second advantage now on Kevin Harvick. Tires aren't nearly as wore out as what they were back in stage number 1. Now granted, stage 1 we ran the first 25 laps green to the fullest. We have had a caution for incident here, plus the caution laps in between the stage breaks could be a cause of that as well. Five laps to go. Stage number 2. Oh boy. Harvick's starting to close the gap a little bit. He actually seemed to be a little faster than us through the middle portion of the racetrack once again. Well, for the first time in a while. Gained quite a bit of ground, and we'll see if he might be able to take a shot going into turn 13. I don't think he's quite close enough yet. Got on the brakes pretty good there. He will close the gap slightly, but we beat him back to the gas again. But Harvick might be able to take a shot here. We got 4 laps to go in stage 2. Harvick is within striking distance. But oh wow, we did a great job blocking off any sort of move he could have made there, as we actually got the car to stick in that corner finally, right along the curb. And that was huge to try to hold on to the lead. Again, so difficult to pass on this racetrack. If Harvick can just get around us, we might not be able to get back around him. But lap traffic is coming up right now. By the end of this lap, we are going to hit Tyler Reddick, our first lap car. Really loose there off the curb, and there goes Harvick. Side by side, Harvick to the lead. One little mistake, which wasn't much of a mistake really, was enough for Harvick to pounce, as he is trying to steal the stage win now. As we only have 3 laps to go at the start-finish line, and Harvick pulling away now through the carousel. And he's going to be the first driver to hit the lap car of Tyler Reddick. Harvick is there, right behind Reddick now. Harvick just bounced off the wall. That's a mistake we needed to get to the inside. Just squeezing past Reddick. Contact now with Reddick, as he kind of got in the way. And that's going to mess up our braking zone big time here. But we're able to keep the car on the track. And somehow we were able to barely lead that last lap and not officially lose the lead. But this is definitely dicey here. Harvick might have a shot at us again. There he comes, contact. He tried to use the bump and run, didn't work that time. As a game of cat and mouse now through the lap traffic. Gonna get by Joey Gase pretty easily. Harvick still stuck behind Joey. About 2.5 laps to go in stage 2. Now Ryan Truex kind of holding us up. Tell somebody's gotten into the back bumper of him some point today. Oh, side by side, can't get around him there, and here comes Harvick behind us once again. Able to get around Truex. Harvick going to follow us, though, right through there. It took us a while to get around him. Here's Austin Dillon. Oh, Harvick gets sideways. We passed Dillon. Right there. Oh, my goodness. 2 laps to go in stage 2. A pretty thrilling finish, to say the least, to the stage. A lot more action than what we had pretty much in the entirety of stage 1. But Harvick has slipped back about 2 seconds off the lead now, but we still have about 3 more lap cars just in front of us that we will easily catch before the end of the stage. And Harvick has just passed all the lap cars behind us now. Oh boy. Harvick 2 seconds off the lead, but he's not done yet. Ty Dillon, Brendan Gaughan, and is just in front of us that we are now going to have to catch. We're going to get around Ty Dillon pretty easily. Going to try to outbrake Brendan Gaughan and McLeod. Just able to get by all 3 of them pretty easily for the most part. And that might help us just enough. Still only a 2-second lead, but now 3 lap cars in between me and Harvick with a little over a lap to go. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go in stage 2. Now about a 3.5-second lead on Harvick. Still 1 more lap car in front of us of Ryan Preece in 33rd. But we've got a big enough lead if we can just get around him fairly decent. There we go, just cleared him. Took a little extra time, but we're okay. We can pretty much coast it the rest of this lap. Kind of take it easy, make sure we don't miss our marks. Keep the car on the racetrack, and we should be able to win stage 2. But Harvick put up a fight there those last couple laps. It was definitely a lot closer than the margin is looking like for right now. Oh boy. That was a big... Big, interesting wide turn there through the bus stop. Looks like we're going to catch Cody Ware as well here. Go back downhill, the finishing portion of the racetrack. There we go. 1 more corner to go. Ryan Blaney through turn 14 once again. Blaney wins stage 2 at Sonoma, sweeping the stages in this race. There we go. Hey Raphael, how's it going? So we are at the stage break here in stage number 2. World Wrestling Championships, I will... Oh, nice, we got 8 people here. So, 4-tire pit stop here during the stage break. We just won the first 2 stages of the race here, but World Wrestling Championships, I will check that out if you are still streaming by the end of this race, but I cannot leave the stream right now. Raphael, you missed the first 2 stages. Stage 1, we pretty much dominated, led all but the first 2 laps of the race. Eric Jones led. He's only really got a short run car. Stage 2, we had a really racy stage there with Kevin Harvick pretty much all throughout. Battling in the lap traffic there, taking the lead back to the line with 2 to go, and barely winning stage number 2. So we are set for the final stage of the race. 57 laps, not 70. I don't know why I was thinking it was going to be 70. Did my math wrong. So 60 lap final stage here to finish things off, and Harvick losing a couple spots on the restart already as Matt DiBenedetto will take the 2nd spot. Maybe DiBenedetto can try to challenge for the lead here early in stage 3. Now, of course, we do have one pit stop that we will have to take before the end of this race. From this point on, we can make it on fuel with one stop. But how will the tire wear last? Who can save their tires the best over the course of a run to try and make it to the end of the race? Only one caution for incident in this one, and it came in stage number 2, about halfway through, and it was on Eric Jones, who is back on the track. We still have all 40 cars on the racetrack right now, but we're having a pretty good go right now. A 1 second off the lead. Oh, battery's that low. The controller probably should have charged it last night. Oh man, a little wide through turn 13. De Benedetto almost got under us. Yes, he's only a couple car lengths back right now. 56 to go still. Once we cross the start-finish line this next time, we will be halfway home. Cross flags will be in the air. Oh, a little bit of a wheel spin there. We're good though. We were actually able to stay in the gas too. I don't know how Harvick fell all the way back to 4th on the restart. He lost a spot from De Benedetto and Hamlin, but that is costing him quite a bit of time because remember, Harvick's got just as fast of a car as we do. He was hanging with us pretty much the entirety of that second stage. And the Kyle Busch watch, I'm not sure exactly where he's at, but he has still not cracked the top 5 yet today, despite starting at the rear of the field. But of course, Sonoma, we've mentioned it a lot, and it is a very tough track to pass on. Here we go right now. We've got 55 laps left. We are halfway home. It's all going to be about how that pit stop is going to be. Obviously working through the lap traffic, controlling the tire wear. You got to have a fast pit stop. If we waste too much time and lose the lead that way, we may never get that track position back again. So we definitely got to make sure we don't speed. And I did practice that pit stop in session qualifying earlier, and I almost sped. I was very close to speeding. I didn't think I was going to get the car loaded up in time, so I'm glad I was able to find out exactly where the commitment cone line is. So that way, if we do have to make that pit stop under green in this final stage, that's what we're going to be looking at. Got about a 2.5 second lead on De Benedetto already. Honestly, as of right now, I'm thinking Kevin Harvick might be the best guy to try and dethrone us for the win here in this one. Yeah, that Sonoma race, the Tony Stewart one, was definitely one of the better Sonoma races I could remember. Epic classic finish with his final career win. Definitely one of the things you think about when you go to Sonoma. Trying to think of another good Sonoma race. An interesting one was the race where Marcus Ambrose was leading almost the entire race. And they had a caution late with like 6 to go, and he was trying to save fuel. And when he shut the car off, going up the hill through the first carousel, the car stalled, and he ended up losing his spot. And it stuck for him. I think Jimmy Johnson ended up going on to win that race, so that was pretty interesting too, for a completely different circumstance. Of course, Kyle Busch as well, back in 2015, coming back after breaking his leg, getting his first win to help solidify the start of his championship campaign that season. Another thing to look back in Sonoma history. Honestly, last year's race between Truex and Kyle Busch in the late going, I didn't think that was a bad battle. It was pretty interesting to see them, even though they were kind of seconds apart. Kyle Busch was running him down for a little bit, then Truex kind of like just kicked it into another gear, it seemed like, and was able to kind of maintain that roughly 2-second lead on him for the last 4 to 5 laps of the race. See, DiBenedetto about took a shot at us right there. He's closed the gap over the last couple laps again. He fell about 2.5 seconds off the lead, and we go wide for the second time today. We go off the track, and DiBenedetto is able to take advantage and take the lead as he tries to lead his first lap of the race. Back to the inside once again. Oh, a bump and a run by DiBenedetto, shoving us up the track, and he's going to hold on to the lead once more. Not wanting to give up, looking for his second win of the season. Wow. Yeah, there is a rivalry with Brad and Kyle Busch on road courses too. Part of that whole Watkins Glen. Oh man, Denny Hamlin's in there too. Man, what is going on right now with the race car? Feels like I'm still hitting my marks for the most part, outside of going wide. That DiBenedetto was able to get around us. Honestly, I think that rear bump loosened the car up just a little bit more than what I would like, because the handling of the car has definitely slowly gone away, despite having a fairly decent amount of grip with the tire wear still. Yeah, Matt DiBenedetto leading laps at Sonoma as we try to run him back down. He's not too far ahead of us. As long as we kind of somewhat keep the pressure on him, I think we'll be okay. So get through the inner loop. Gain quite a bit of time on him there. If we can get close enough to him, we might be able to get him in turn 13. That's what I'm hoping for. Blaney's definitely closed the gap. Looking to the inside. He's going to block us off that time, though. Ooh, off the wall, off of turn 13. That's going to cost us some time also. Pushing the car as hard as we can while trying to keep it on the track so we can catch DiBenedetto as quick as possible. I'd love to catch him before we get to the lap traffic if necessary. Looking to the inside, we got a shot at him. Last time we tried to cross him over, or he tried to cross us over like this. Oh boy. Barely able to get around him there. Blaney back to the lead again. Benedetto was only able to lead 2 laps before losing the lead once again. Definitely got the superior car in the field today, but we're not going to go down without a fight. But neither are the rest of the drivers, as we have shown here in the early going to this one, as DiBenedetto almost got to our bumper again. He used it once, so you got to expect he's willing to use it again if he gets the chance to get around us. 50 laps to go. I like the new 2019, or well, it's the older layout from when they started this course, but I like this, and I also like the other Sonoma. This race is more like a street course, to be quite honest, in my opinion. It feels a lot more narrow, and there's definitely less passing lanes. And I like the old course too, though. I don't think street courses work as well with NASCAR. With these stock cars, they're a lot heavier, already harder to control as it is. So I'm not really a big fan of trying to get street courses into NASCAR. But I don't fault them for trying something new. I'd rather have the old course. This is definitely a lot more difficult to drive, I'm not going to lie. Just with the game, I've gotten used to it, but it definitely took a while to get used to it. And even then, this is a lot more difficult, I think, than the older layout that we're used to seeing on the track when they go to Sonoma. So trying to pull right back away from DiBenedetto. He's hanging in there a little bit. He's a little less than a second off the lead. Denny Hamlin back in third, barely ahead of Kevin Harvick right now. They're both about 3 to 3.5 seconds off the lead. So the two-man race so far in stage 3 is Ryan Blaney and Matt DiBenedetto here. Less than 50 laps to go. Pit window opens when we hit 34 laps left in this race. So what will the pit strategy look like? Will you see guys maybe try to short pit, gain a tire advantage that way to get out in front of the field, or will you see guys try to maybe stretch this first run as long as they can and then hit pit road, or maybe even just splitting the stage in half? Because quite honestly, I'm looking at splitting the stage in half. I'm looking to go 30 and 30 in this final stage. I think once the tires get really worn out under 30%, we saw towards the end of stage 1 it was getting a little harder to handle. We didn't see that in stage 2 because we got the caution. I'd like to pit under yellow rather than having to take the pressure to take the green flag pit stop, but if we do stay green all the way to the end of the race, which is very well possible, then I'm definitely going to split this stage in half. So that's probably what we're looking at. My strategy being here in this one is we're going to catch lap traffic for the first time in stage 3 now. So we look to get to the outside of Joey Gase. We'll get around him pretty easily. Now looking on Tyler Reddick. Reddick kind of slowing us up here just a little bit. Going to outbrake him and get around him though. Yeah, DiBenedetto looks like he's going to get by Joey Gase a lot easier than what we did. But now he's kind of stuck behind Tyler Reddick here. But I'm sure he's going to get around him once we get down that this longer straightaway right now. We're trying to fight through the lap traffic. Who will be the best at it here over the course of this race today? Oh boy, a little loose there. It's about a 3-second lead on DiBenedetto now. Just got to keep pushing though. Definitely, it's a little more comfortable, but it's not completely safe by any means. And take advantage of turn 13 here as a really, really big passing zone to get around these lap cars. Really only 3 or 4 real passing zones on this racetrack. It's turn 13, right before the bus stop / chicane. up at the top of the hill, right after the middle portion of the racetrack. And really just that second longer straightaway right before you get into the bus stop chicane. Really the only 3 passing lanes on the track. It's just so tough to pass through both carousels. These corners are just so tight here. The track is not very wide. How many laps to go? We have 47 laps left in this race. We are well past halfway at this point. Definitely got an interesting race, to say the least. Oh boy. I think the Charlotte Roval's a good idea. It's definitely exciting. It's, for a road course race, it is almost a traditional NASCAR race, as a road course could probably be. I was at the race last year. I thought I had a blast. Even though I thought the first year was probably a little more crazy, hectic, and better, but last year was still a good race too. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I don't think they should be doing that with every track though, like putting random road courses other places. Daytona's alright, but that's because that's already kind of been a road course for IMSA for a long time. So that was already a road course option. But I think the Charlotte Roval's unique in the aspect that that's really the only track that they self-built a road course in a sense. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a good idea. I don't want to see any more like Rovals though, outside of Daytona. And I guess Indianapolis, you could say, is kind of like its own fixture of a somewhat Roval. But again, that is a road course that has been been around for quite a while, because Formula One used to race there, and IndyCar's been racing there even the last couple years too, reopening that course. I think IMSA has raced there as well. So yeah, I don't have a problem with them going there anyway. They're not really like redesigning road courses, if you get what I'm kind of saying. Oh, a little contact with Cody Ware now. Thought we were going to be able to clear him there through turn 13. That was not the case that time. We've opened up about an 8-second lead on DiBenedetto. And actually, Kevin Harvick is now up to second. So, arguably, the fastest guy in the field outside of us. Kevin Harvick is back up to second place now. But he is about 8.5 seconds back. So can he actually run us down in the midst of all this lap traffic? Or will he have to rely on pit strategy perhaps to try and get it done? We'll just have to see. We definitely got a lot more comfortable of a lead now than what we've had in a while in this race. Oh man, Corey LaJoie about put the block on us here. Three more lap cars in front of us again. Stenhouse, Hemrick, and Landon Castle, I believe. Still all 40 cars on the racetrack in this one. And this late in the race, that is a pretty cool sight to see. Again, only one caution was for Eric Jones earlier. He was able to get back on the track. I don't know if he had a tire go down or what the issue was, but... Ooh, Castle just bounced off the wall right in front of us. Oh, looked to strike for an advantage there. Couldn't quite get around him yet. Now through the S's up the hill, we're going to clear him for the position. Spot in the track. Oh boy. That was the same spot that we took a spin in qualifying We've kept all four wheels, for the most part, outside of just bouncing off the curbs, on the racetrack. A couple mishaps here and there, one of which DiBenedetto was able to strike and take the lead off of. You see, like, you haven't even really seen much of that today. We're hitting our marks for the most part. We have a comfortable lead now. We can kind of sit back, kind of take care of the tires as much as possible. And the later we can have this tire run, the fresher the tires will be for the second stint here in the final stage. So our fastest lap of the race is a 1 minute point, or I should say a 1:31.148, and that is also the fastest lap I've ever ran here at Sonoma. So we definitely are hitting our marks on the racetrack today, running some really fast lap times. That's faster than what we ran in qualifying. Honestly, that lap time might have been ran in this final stage, too. I don't remember beating my own personal best lap time in the first two stages. So it must have been the early going of this run before our tires started to wear off. A little bit of a tire slide there. Yeah, tires are definitely wearing out. Clinton Boyer in 19th. He's going to go 2 laps down now. Not too worn out, I guess. I think some of it might be that rear bumper damage from DiBenedetto earlier still. Because our tires have been worn out a lot more than this during the course of the race today. So 18 drivers on the lead lap. Boyer got the free pass and had to restart at the rear of the field, so that's why he's behind these guys that are positioned behind him, like Bubba Wallace and William Byron. I'm surprised Byron's back at 27th right now. The difficulty, it is on 10. Oh, Bubba Wallace about turns us. What was that for? Contact with the 43 right before we went through the carousel. I don't know what happened there. It's like he wasn't expecting us to get out of the gas. That was crazy. That would have been terrible if that would have wiped us out. But yeah, the difficulty for all my full-length races are 105 on the AI difficulty. And then my career mode races are all on expert for the career mode episode. Yeah, you're just seeing us get through the lap traffic probably a lot better than everybody else. Plus they're battling for position quite frequently back there. And I think that's why we're pulling away right now. Because stage 2 was pretty tight all the way through the stage. And we barely had to squeak by with a win on Harvick. And again, Harvick is he's definitely the faster car of anybody else we're racing in the field today. So the fact it took him a while to get up to second as well, I think DiBenedetto and Hamlin were kind of holding him back for a while just because it is that hard to pass here without other guys making mistakes. WWF All-Stars, thanks for joining here. I'll hope to see you again in future streams. Thanks for taking time out of all of your guys' Easter Sundays here to join for this live stream. I didn't think I was going to get the viewership I've been getting lately because of the fact of having to move the start time for this race on late notice. But I'm glad that it is panning out for the best and you guys are enjoying the content throughout the course of the race today. About a 20.5-second lead. We've just put Kurt Busch 2 laps down in 20th now. Oh boy. It looks like he about got into the side of the 96. They might have made contact behind us because we just kind of pulled away from them all of a sudden. Coming out of the bus stop. Now again, when we go to the next road course race at Watkins Glen, there's a very good possibility I'm going to be using the steering wheel for that one. Just decided to use the controller here today. Kind of switching things up from time to time. I usually like to go back and forth as much as possible. When we raced the Michigan race last night, we used the steering wheel for that race. That was a pretty good race. Had some crazy restarts throughout. Got the win there. We've actually won 5 races in a row, believe it or not. Stretching from Talladega through Dover, Kansas, Coke 600 at Charlotte, and then Pocono, and then Michigan last night. So we've won 6 races in a row. And we are looking for 7 at Sonoma. And I knew this could have been a tough one, although I'm pretty good on road courses. We've had to fight for the lead at times with DiBenedetto, Eric Jones, and Kevin Harvick throughout the course of this one. Whether it has been on a short run or a somewhat longer run, it just doesn't matter. But thankfully, we qualified on the pole, giving us the track position that we didn't have to work our way through the field like usual. And after nabbing that first pole of the year, we're looking good here. So we'll have 39 laps to go at the line this time. Pit window will open up in about 5 laps. You might see guys trying to stretch the final fuel run and try to short pit. So if these guys behind us, like Kevin Harvick in second, who's really pulled away from DiBenedetto now. But you can see how equal we are, because once he got up into second place about 20-21 seconds back, he hasn't lost any ground from us. That goes to show how equally fast the two of us are. It's just we gained so much of a lead before he was able to get up to second that it might be too much to overcome. Caution will definitely help him out, but as well, we'll have to see what pit strategies we're going to take here in this one as well. Really loose. That curve's probably sent us more loose than any other curve on the racetrack over the course of this race today. Didn't realize we've been an hour and a half into this race already here today too. Feels like time's just kind of flying by. Gonna catch McDowell in a bad spot here, trying to go through the gears, up through the carousel. Tough spot on the racetrack to pass. And we're gonna send it here on him. Try to get under him, but now Eric Almirola is just in front of us as well. And Tyler Reddick. Reddick not giving us a lot of room, despite being in last. Almirola squeaks by, and we'll just have to follow him around the inside of that corner to get on by. Now we work to the outside of Almirola. And now Eric is 2 laps down. Now when I hit pit road, I am going to have to switch my controller for a second. So if I hit the pause button, unfortunately, which I don't like doing, I'm going to have to hit it then. So I know it is low on battery right now. So I'll be doing that when I'm on pit road. I'm not going to pause it in the middle of the actual race itself. Because we will be hitting pit road here pretty soon. Not going to hit right when the window opens, but again, we're going to try to split the stage in half. And pit right around 30 to go. 40% tire wear on the left front right now. Not really burning it up too bad, especially since we've gotten a little bit bigger of a lead. Ooh, Newman side by side with Austin Dillon right now. That's going to make it a lot harder for us to get around. Oh, we are going to get around Newman fairly easily that time. Now we call Ryan Truex in a bad spot. Oh, really tight through that corner. He gave us just enough room to get around him, though. It's very tough to hold the line, especially when trying to pass guys clean in tight corners like that. Definitely pride myself on racing clean, and we've done a pretty swell job of that here today. Not always the easiest on road courses, but I'll give myself a pat on the back for that. Now we do have a big enough lead as well in this race too that there's a good chance I can actually repair the damage we've got on the rear bumper of the car from that contact with DiBenedetto. Assuming we pit under green, of course. .35 to go. Pit window is going to open this time by. So we'll just get to see if we'll have any takers down pit road. Or see how long these guys are going to wait it out for. I think you're going to see some splitting strategies with the guys behind us. I think you're going to see guys that are going to pit because we're pitting. And I think you're going to see guys that are going to stay out as well, as long as they possibly can, in case a caution might come out. I just feel confident we're not going to get a caution here. I mean, we've only had one all race. We don't seem to have a lot when we come to the road courses, for the most part. Kyle Larson just ahead of us. He's the next driver on the lead lap that we're going to try to catch. Ooh, this is going to get tight. 3 wide. Might be the first time we've seen this today. Taking it really easy to keep it clean, and Kyle Larson was still kind of held behind Ryan Preece. And now we have 17 drivers on the lead lap. Oh boy, a little loose that time off the curb once again. And that's the thing with these road courses too. There is hazard possibly behind every single corner. Which, even though we've got a big enough lead here, you can't miss your marks, like on a high braking zone, for instance, and just slam it into the wall and be able to back up and keep going. Like, we're going to have a ton of damage if we do that. Another reason why we've got to stay focused throughout the course of the race, and we've done a great job of doing that today too. David Reagan on the lead lap up here, I believe. He got the free pass under either the end of the stage or the caution. Whatever way he got the free pass, but I believe he's the last car on the lead lap currently. Yep, he's in 17th. Just in front of us, Chris Buescher also on the lead lap too. Ooh. Is there an iRacing race today? For the NASCAR guys, no, there is not. I think they're taking the week off with it being Easter. But I think there's a very good chance they go to Richmond next week. I haven't heard anything about it yet, but I'd imagine they would go to Richmond. Great move to get around David Reagan. Took us a little bit. Try to hurry up and get by Chris Buescher here now. Using all the racetrack. Oh, Buescher's got a little damage on the front of his car. He might be slowing up David Reagan as well. So now we have 15 drivers on the lead lap as both of those guys are going to go a lap down. A 40-second lead on Kevin Harvick. Again, a lot of that, we're just getting through the lap traffic 10 times better than the rest of the field is. We're not really struggling. We're being patient with it because we've got a big enough lead that we can be patient, wait a couple of corners if we need to. Oh man, Cody Ware making contact. Not sure what that was all about. We passed him clean too. He just kind of got right up on our right rear corner panel and bumped us just a hair. 32 to go. Alright, see you, Raphael. Thanks for joining. Take a look at the tire wear. Yeah, that's definitely part of the reason we're getting a little looser. Obviously, the rear damage as we've had for a while. Right front tire at 30%, left front tire at 27%. So we're really having to back it off and take it easy in these corners now. So we try to get to the halfway mark in the stage, which is going to be right around 30 laps to go. Oh boy. Very heavy lap traffic just ahead of us once again as well. $31 to go. We're almost to our pit stop point here. Probably try to take it a couple laps. As long as the handling doesn't get too bad. Got Joey Logano up here, so we got a couple guys that are on the lead lap still, just barely clinging on for the moment. But I mean, we've got about 5, 6, 7 cars up ahead now. And we're gonna get, oh man, and we were looking to get around Logano there. Martin Truex Jr. caught in all this mess too. Chase Elliott is up here. Remember, Chase Elliott qualified third for this race today, too. Ooh. Stenhouse backed out of the gas. Looked like he just let Truex go. Oh, man, a little loose that time. And that's what we're having to deal with this race car right now. Might not show it all the time, but... Alright, let's see how many of these guys we can get around here. Oh, little contact. 3 wide with Castle as Truex tried to squeeze to the outside. Still 3 wide. Not a lot of track to deal with. And finally able to clear Truex and Castle there. I didn't think Truex was going to go to the top like he did. 30 laps to go. 13 drivers on the lead lap. A 40-second lead on Kevin Harvick still. Things are quiet, but is it the calm before the storm at this point in the race? Oh, man. Oh, contact heavy to the rear bumper now from Truex. We got loose. He couldn't check up in time. That's going to give us a little bit more damage. This car is so out of control right now. Contact again with Truex. Trying to keep the car on the track here as best as we possibly can. Oh, man, Truex drives it in deep and around he goes. And around we go. Hard into the wall. Heavy damage to the front of the car, and that is going to bring out a caution. Truex sends it into the bus stop at the top of the hill and wrecks both of us. All for just trying to fight to keep the car on the lead lap. Heavy damage that we now have to repair. We're going to lose a ton of time. Logano gets the free pass in 14th. Unbelievable. Well, here we go again. Lost a lot of spots on pit road there. Green flag back in the air. We have to restart back in 12th place. 27 laps to go to decide the winner of the race. But we lost a lot of track position that we're going to try really hard to get back. A little contact with our teammate there, Keselowski. Getting back up to 7th. Got to be careful not to make heavy damage with these guys. Oh, this is so tight. McMurray in the way now. Harvick 3 wide. McMurray up to 3rd. How quickly we have been able to drive through the field on the restart. Alex Bowman looking for his first lead of the day on DiBenedetto, right on his back bumper, waiting for a mistake. And a big run coming by Blaney. Can't make it past that time. But here we go. Sitting in 3rd. Just off the race lead. Who is going to win at Sonoma as we lose a little bit of ground there, going back down the second carousel on the racetrack? Oh, little bump to Bowman as we check up. Man, we got really loose after that too. And that allows DiBenedetto to get away a little bit more. Kevin Harvick trying to throw himself in the mix again. DiBenedetto having the clean air is going to make him just as strong as what me and Harvick are. Even though me and Harvick are in dirtier air. And Bowman out of nowhere in 2nd place trying to hold his own. Got a shot to get around him. Little contact. A bump and run on Alex Bowman. Up to 2nd place goes Ryan Blaney. Now trying to run down the race leader here of Matt DiBenedetto. No penalties for us today. That has been another reason why we've led as many laps as we have, with really no mistakes. Harvick right behind Alex Bowman now, looking for third into turn 13. Not a lot of mistakes by really any drivers here today. Only 2 cautions, one of which we were involved in. So as far as our 3-strike rule goes, because there are no DNFs in this game, for us at least. I mean, there's DNFs for guys blowing their engines, but we cannot physically DNF. So what I do is 3 strikes and I'm out. If I wreck 3 times over the course of a race, I'm out. Obviously, we just wrecked with Truex there, even though it wasn't our fault. Still counts against us. Luckily, we were able to repair the car, and luckily as well, we were able to get through the field pretty quick. We gained a lot going into the bus stop that time on DiBenedetto once again. But we are taking these corners pretty wide, just trying to catch up to DiBenedetto as quick as possible. We're making a run at him here. This battle for the lead could get intense very shortly. Harvick still trying to get around Bowman. Closing into the back bumper. Ooh, off the wall. It's going to lose us a little bit of time as DiBenedetto pulls away to the line again. 24 laps to go. What is going to be the best way for us to get around him? And if there's any point to keep the car on the track, now would be that point. Although we really haven't made hardly any mistakes all day, now would be the worst time for there to be one as we look to the inside of DiBenedetto. A little contact. Accidental as we were just trying to make the pass, and here we go with an advantage to the lead. But now can we hold on to it? Oh, and we missed the braking zone into the bus stop. Still side by side as we hold on through the carousel. Loose. Getting the car to turn still. DiBenedetto, can he keep the pressure on and wait for us to possibly make a mistake? Back down into turn 13 once again. He is there, a little wide. DiBenedetto back to the lead again. The gap at the line, 23 to go. We didn't officially take back the lead yet. Matt DiBenedetto, though, right in front of us. Oh my goodness. Might have a shot at him again here. Looking to the inside. Driving it in deep. Clean battle this time. No contact made, and we're back out in front again. This battle's allowing Bowman and Harvick to kind of close the gap again. Didn't run wide that time. No sign of DiBenedetto to close the gap yet. We'll see if he can maybe get back around us into 13. He seems to be better on the closing corners of this racetrack. Back to the lead officially at the line. 22 laps to go here at Sonoma. A race that has now been just over 2 hours to this point. It started roughly about 11 o'clock by the time we got through qualifying and the race started. Oh boy, DiBenedetto closes the gap again. A little mistake. He is there. He got through that first carousel going back uphill pretty quickly, which has allowed him to really close the gap here over the last half a lap or so. Now he's possibly looking to strike. Oh, and we missed the braking zone way wide as we have been all day long. Getting back in the gas though, still not losing a ton of ground, looking to get him back. We're going to have to be patient with it. He's trying to stay right on his rear bumper. Really got to make sure we keep focus here. Keep pressure on one another. Looking for the lead. He shuts the door into turn 13. Oh man, another brush off the wall. Coming out of 13. 21 to go. What a battle that we have had so far on this final run between the 95 and the 12, with Bowman only a second back of us now. The more times we go to pass each other, the more times Bowman's able to close the gap. In third, surprisingly, he has stayed in front of Kevin Harvick since dropping back to third. Big run coming for the 12 again. Striking to the inside. No contact made. Another clean pass for the lead. Higher braking zones, though, have not been our friend in the last 5 laps or so. Harvick now looking to the inside of Bowman. Trying to go for third. Harvick is there. Harvick has gotten around Bowman for third. Arguably the fastest guy in the field is there. And now the caution for the third time today. With 21 laps to go, we have a caution. And we'll bunch the field back up again. Shout out to Eric Jones being in a wreck earlier, and he's in 7th right now. Kyle Larson's going to get the free pass in 15th. Matt Tifft in the top 10, running 10th right now. McMurray 6th. So we're going to get ready to rack them and stack them again. We're going to have 18 laps to go when we go green at Sonoma this time. Here we go. Green flag in the air. We are underway once again. Good jump, at least for the moment. Keep the full car out in front of DiBenedetto. Harvick trying to hold on to third. Bowman looking around him now. Who will have the advantage between those two? DiBenedetto right there looking for a mistake. Bowman, Harvick still side by side for third. No one not wanting to give an inch. Blaney goes wide. Back onto the track and somehow almost able to hold on to the lead, but not quite. DiBenedetto back out in front again. Taking the strike to the inside. Little loose off the curbing. DiBenedetto able to hold on to the lead for now. And Harvick's up to third. He's closing in on us. We're probably going to have a 3-car battle for the lead here. And Bowman's even hold his own in this final stage. Maybe he'll have a shot still. We got to keep Harvick behind us though. 17 laps to go at the line. Harvick looking to the inside. Can't quite get there yet. DiBenedetto just bounced it off the wall. We're going to close the gap. Ooh, that was a really solid corner. Closing the gap uphill through the carousel. We are there again. Looking to make a move. Blocking us off tremendously. We are there side by side. With a chance. Blaney clears DiBenedetto back out in front, and now Harvick trying to follow us past the 95, but he couldn't quite strike. Harvick trying to get around the 95 as quick as he can. Hopefully he doesn't get held up like he was at the start of the final stage. Harvick can't keep waiting. He's got to strike like he did on Bowman. Harvick cannot wait for DiBenedetto to make a mistake. We are too late in the race for him to sit back and have themselves fall too far off the lead before Harvick tries to run us back down like he did at the beginning of the stage. We've only got 16 to go. We've had 3 cautions in the race. None in the opening stage, 2 in stage 1, or sorry, 1 in stage 2, and 2 in this final stage so far. DiBenedetto there, can't make the move. Seems to be the passing lane for a lot of guys on the racetrack today, including ourselves when we're trying to get around. That was the same corner in which we had passed Matt DiBenedetto for the race lead this last time. Harvick looking to get around the 95 again. Looked like he was peeking to the inside going into the bus stop, but he couldn't quite stay to the inside of him. It's just such a tight corner there. You kind of got to outbrake him and beat him into the corner for it to be a passing zone. Still got a ways before we catch lap traffic too. So at least for that sake, we're going to have clean air for kind of a while, as long as we don't lose the lead. I'm scared that Harvick's going to take the lead though, because he's been the hardest guy to pass in the field out of anybody all day. Outside of probably myself, but still. Both DiBenedetto and Harvick have bumped and ran us to take the lead at separate times today. So who's to say they might not try it again? Tire wear not too bad right now, 69% on both the left front and the right front. We can really try to just burn these tires up as much as possible to the finish, because they should get down right around 30% again before the end of the race. Still all 40 cars on the racetrack as well. This might be the first race this season in which we might have every driver finish the race. We had one caution at Pocono, but I think we had 2 guys DNF in that race. Still roughly second to a second and a half lead on DiBenedetto. Harvick still behind him. Oh no, and around we go! Just like in qualifying. Stuck in the sand trying to get going. Blaney loses the lead and still losing spots. Back to 6th. All it took was one little hop off the curb. And in the same spot we had spun in qualifying, bites us back with less than 15 to go in the race. What a tough break. As now we have to run these guys down in dirtier air. That gives Matt DiBenedetto the race lead. Now we got to run so hard just to run these guys down. Leading the majority of the race. Man, what a heartbreak that would be if we can't get back into the lead. We're in 5th place. We quickly got back around Eric Jones at least. About another 2 seconds back of Denny Hamlin, who's the next driver we have to pass for the lead lap. Harvick now looking to strike for the lead on DiBenedetto. Couldn't get him into turn 13 that time. We need to run our fastest laps of the race now if we're going to want to catch these guys. 13 to go. The fact that we have to pass 4 guys too, that's going to be difficult. We made it look easy on the restart, but that's a little different scenario when everybody's packed together versus already up to speed and just trying to run time trial laps at this point. We're definitely running down Denny Hamlin and Alex Bowman in 3rd and 4th. DiBenedetto is still the race leader currently. And will we catch lap traffic before the end of the race? Still got a little bit of a ways to catch him. We have ran down the top 4. But after Bowman, there is a little bit of a gap before Harvick. And as long as DiBenedetto's leading the race on Kevin Harvick, we know we're faster than DiBenedetto when we hit our marks. Harvick, we're pretty equal. If Harvick gets to the lead before we can get to 2nd, it might be game over. Looking to attack into turn 13 on Hamlin. A bump. Contact is made and a run. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Blaney up to 4th, 12 to go. We're going to have to be aggressive now. Just like we were on Hamlin. Didn't dump him, just a nice little rub, a nice little bump and run to get on by. We tried to catch the 88 of Bowman. Man, we're driving this car hard. Almost overdriving it here at times. Trying to run the 88 down. Big run coming as we accidentally dumped him. Back across the track he goes as it round goes the 88 of Bowman. When he tried to correct it, he almost came up into us. I didn't think he was going to check up that much. We stay green. Man, when he came back up the track, I thought he was going to hit us right in the driver's side door, but that wasn't the case. 3 seconds off the lead. A little bit of damage on the front bumper now. We hit Bowman kind of hard. He checked up big time there, and we were carrying so much speed. I tried to get on the brakes, and I could not get there in time. Harvick, again, went for the lead into turn 13. Could not get it. He tried to pull away from Denny Hamlin, who was able to obviously get around Bowman, and unfortunately for Alex Bowman, he's outside the top 5 at least. And I think there's a good chance he's outside the top 10. He lost a lot of spots there. Boy, did this race turn interesting so quick. A lackluster first 30 laps of the final stage, but since that first caution of the stage, we have had nothing but battles for the lead. Harvick still trying to get around DiBenedetto. Man, we are driving this car as hard as we can right now, trying to catch him. We're definitely running down Harvick and DiBenedetto. We were 3 seconds back of the lead. Now we're only about 2 seconds back. So we gained about a second in 2 laps. Again, I think we can get to them, but can we get around them? Still no real sight of lap traffic in the near future, but it's becoming more and more likely the longer the run that we will catch these guys before the end of the race. 10 to go. We really can't have any more mistakes like we did about 5 to 6 laps ago coming out of the carousel. Luckily we didn't hit anything. We were able to get it going. It took a little bit though because we were stuck in the sand. We close the gap on the 4. Harvick's got to get around to DiBenedetto soon before we get to him. Only about a second and a half off the lead now. Big run coming. We have a 3-car battle for the lead with 10 to go at Sonoma. Just trying to stay in the gas, hopping over the curbs that time. Nobody wanting to give an inch. Oh, we got really tight there. Really tight in turn 12. We're going to lose a little bit of ground before we get into 13. Harvick all over the back of the 95. It seems like every time they get into that corner, he rolls it in deeper than DiBenedetto, which allows Matt to get back to the gas before Harvick, and he kind of pulls him by a couple car lengths just ahead like he did that time. Got 9 laps to go. What a race this has turned into today. Joshua, you're back in time for what has been a thrilling last kind of 20 laps of this race so far. Me and Harvick took big hops off the curb. DiBenedetto not so much. He pulls us again as the leaders catch lap traffic. Tyler Reddick just in front of the 95 now. Now looking all over to pass him. Harvick goes for the lead. Harvick going to not only go for the lead, but he's going to try to make it underneath here. 3 wide now. I thought about it. I couldn't quite make the move. As we look to the inside of Harvick. Contact between the 95 and 31. Now we're 3 wide. Harvick and I split. Reddick. Blaney to second. We were able to pass Harvick before Harvick passed DiBenedetto, as planned. With more lap traffic looming, Joey Gase will be the next lap car for DiBenedetto to catch. All right, can you guys hear us? All right, can you guys hear us? All right, I think we're good now. We are the final missed technicality. Here we go at Sonoma, trying to finish the race to the inside of Harvick. We're going to get around him. Oh, 3 wide contact now with the 90 or the 71 rather. More contact. DiBenedetto getting away slightly. Hopefully no more mic issues or any issues of any sort for the remainder of this race. Sorry for the technical difficulties over the last couple laps, but we're good. DiBenedetto is there in the lead, 2 seconds ahead. And then there's Blaney. And then another 2 seconds behind us, we've got Kevin Harvick. 6 to go at Sonoma. We can definitely run him down. I don't know. It's going to be close. We're running as hard of laps as we have been able to run, pushing the tires to the limit now. They are down to 40%. We've burned about 30% of our tires just within the last probably 10 laps or so, just because of how hard we have had to run. DiBenedetto's got a couple more lap cars directly in front of him. It looks like Ty Dillon's one of those guys. He got around Dillon pretty easily. Ooh, bouncing it off the wall. Again, we're just running as hard as possible. Every race on 105 for the AI difficulty for these full race streams over the course of the season, no matter what series I'm in. Looking to the inside of Ty Dillon. Tough area to pass cars in general, whether they're slower and lap down or not. And we got around Ty Dillon there pretty easily. And DiBenedetto having troubles now with Ryan Preece just in front of him. Sending it. Here we go. Looking to the bottom. Couldn't quite get there. I was trying to get to the inside of Preece to make it 3 wide. Couldn't quite get there. Now DiBenedetto bounces off the wall. We've got 5 to go. Less than a half second off the lead. 5 laps left at Sonoma. My goodness, Harvick has caught us too. Harvick's only second behind. What a 3-car race for the win. Harvick hasn't won yet. Or no, sorry, all 3 of us have actually won a race this year. Harvick won at Bristol. DiBenedetto won at Martinsville. And we've won quite a few races this year. As we try to keep the hot streak alive to the inside of the 95. He's got damage on the front of his car. That could slow him up as we go wide. Keeping it off the wall. Sent it to try and slide in front of him. The tires are gone on everybody's cars. Everybody's just sliding around, trying to get around the lap traffic. Unbelievable. Hopefully that's not the last shot that we had at DiBenedetto. Sending it on Cody Ware. We had to be aggressive. We had to get around him. Can't waste any time now. I want to pass DiBenedetto for the race win clean, but if it comes down to the last lap, we got to do what it takes to win. We're all the top 3 drivers in the playoffs at this point. I don't even know if I'd be in this situation if the controller didn't die, to be completely honest, but we're giving it a shot. About 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds off the lead still. Man, my heart is racing just trying to catch these guys now. More lap traffic, heavy. DiBenedetto caught right behind Daniel Hemrick. He looks to the outside of him now. So we close the gap. He still can't get around him. Oh, loose off the curb. DiBenedetto finally able to get there. 3 wide for the lead. Going into the bus stop. We are there, outbreaking everybody. DiBenedetto trying to close back again. To the lead at Sonoma. With 3.5 laps to go. But now we've got a lap car of Landon Castle just in front of us. How quickly can we get around him? DiBenedetto right behind us right now. Where's Harvick? Harvick's 2.5 seconds back. We're going to get underneath Castle. Truex. Or sorry, not Truex. DiBenedetto going to follow us. He's there. We went wide again, side by side. Off of 13. 3 to go at the line. Blaney leads. What a clean pass, too. DiBenedetto trying it through the carousel. Can't get there. His best passing zone all day is going to be coming up in the next turn as we get down this hill before the middle portion of the track. He is there. Will he try the bump and run? He's tried it once there earlier. He could not get us there as we were able to block the move off right along the curb on the inside. Yeah, I might have to pull a Tony Stewart 2016 if it comes down to that. Oh, wide again, and DiBenedetto back to the lead. You've got to be kidding me. Now we got to get him back. We just completely missed the braking zone there. Again, thanks for everybody joining for the finish of the race. It has been an exciting one so far. We're going to have 2 laps to go at the line. We've got about 3 more lap cars to deal with the rest of the way. And the next one's going to be Corey LaJoie. 2 to go. I'm like shaking right now. I'm trying to get through this. Harvick's closing back up to us again too. He's only about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds off. So we go to the inside of DiBenedetto. Again, LaJoie in the way. Still side by side. Truex trying to block us. LaJoie not giving us any room to race right now. Trying to use LaJoie as a pick. Oh, that got tight. We're able to clear him. Harvick is back. Where did he come from? Kevin Harvick side by side with DiBenedetto now. That's unbelievable. DiBenedetto almost lost second place to Harvick. They're still battling back there. And now that Harvick and DiBenedetto are battling, that's helping us out a ton. If we get to the white flag, the next flag is going to end the race. Wow. DiBenedetto and Harvick are battling heavily right now with each other. We're pulling way ahead of them. We've got 2 more lap cars just in front of us. Byron, Busher. We've seen, oh sorry, not Busher, it's Wallace contact with Bubba Wallace. Not the first time today. Hopefully the last. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. 3.5 second lead. Harvick is now up to second, but is he too far back? Overcoming the odds late. Trying to get this 12 car to victory lane. Loose. We're good. We can really back it off these final few corners if we need to. Man, these tires are sliding everywhere right now. It is so hard to keep control of this car. We have burnt them up trying to catch DiBenedetto for a while now. Our fastest lap of the race is a 31 minute 30.561 second lap. We're loose again. Oh my gosh. Feels like it's going to spin out every time it does that. Few more corners to go. Pulling away from Harvick. We can ease it going into turn 13. We've got a big enough lead. We have pulled away mightily once Harvick and DiBenedetto started battling with each other. A classic one and one for the ages at Sonoma. Between the final 30 laps of the race, but Ryan Blaney picks up win number 12 on the season. Wow. What a race. What a race. If you guys don't like that, then I don't think you're going to like any content on the channel. Oh my goodness. What a win. Can't say we didn't earn it either. I thought when the controller died, that might have been the race over with 8 laps left. We ran him back down. That was awesome. 2 hours and 25 minutes. Sorry, 2 hours and 35 minutes. Total time on the race. Harvick ended up second. DiBenedetto fell back to third in the last couple laps. Hamlin still finished in fourth. Alex Bowman fifth. Eric Jones spun earlier in the race. He finished sixth. Keselowski seventh. Jamie McMurray eighth. Kyle Busch from the rear of the field. He ended up coming back to finish ninth. And Matt Tifft rounds out the top 10 with a career day. Obviously, again, oh, that was our 13th win of the season. My bad. 13th win of the year for Blaney. Yeah, our fastest lap came in the very end of the race there, a 1:30.56 when we led 82 of the 110 laps in the race, despite having battles and fights for the lead throughout the course of the day. Stellar job on our behalf. Again, Busch, biggest mover from last to ninth, and Austin Dillon had the tough break, started 21st, finished 37th. Again, as always, thanks for watching. For more daily NASCAR content, hit the subscribe button down below for streams with real-life commentary, just like videos like this. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the race today, as well as the commentary, the video in general. I'll see you guys in the next one. We'll have a couple career mode uploads in the next couple days, but the next full race live stream will be Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That'll be the start time for that one. We're going to Chicagoland in the next race. Hope to see you guys then. Thanks for watching as always. Thanks for the support as always. Glad we had a great showing, and I'll catch you later in the week.